Hi, I'm Cher, the Shadow Walker, and here's a report on strange occurrences from March 7th to March 9th throughout Canada, starting with British Columbia. Animal mutilation and livestock incidents. Northern BC, in the Fort St. John Peace River region, so that borders with Alberta. Reports have emerged over the weekend regarding livestock found in unusual states. Near Fort St. John, while authorities have investigated similar cases involving missing organs and genitals, often attributing them to post-mortem scavenging by coyotes, local ranchers have noticed the lack of typical predatorial signs or blood splatter and no struggle. And there was two discoveries on March 8th of animal mutilations in the area. And ranchers near Dead Horse Creek report agitated livestock and the discovery of a calf with surgical, unlike oddities, early morning of March 9th. That's this morning. It doesn't say what they meant by, it was the reproductive system that was removed from it. In the Mission and Fraser Valley area, a report from March 7th involving mutilated calves' carcasses found in a rural ditch. Similar to past cases in the region, the ears have been removed cleanly, making identification difficult and suggesting deliberate human or unexplained interference rather than a predator. In Garibaldi Provincial Park and the Green Mantle Mountains, following a major fireball meteor event on March 3rd and 4th, there have been reports of residual lights and fireball sightings in the sky on March 7th and March 8th. NASA and local experts confirmed the initial meteor degraded over the Green Mantle Mountains, but residents in Como and Merritt continue to report unusual flashes of light. In the Pit Lake area, on March 9th, localized magnetic shifts and strange lights have been reported by those monitoring Pit Lake. It's an area of a lot of unusual activity. This aligns with, yes, because of the rocks in that area, this is a frequency bridge. This is an area you're going to see UFOs coming in. You're going to see Bigfoot's portals in that area. So you're bound to see a lot of that. Cryptoids and paranormal activity. Vancouver Island. Okay, the Bastille Square remains a hot spot. And they report mimicking EVP cries, and on their EVP monitors that they use, they noted it, of a shadowy figure often associated in the corridor. And that's been amplifying over the past few months. In the Westminster Penitentiary Gatehouse area, fresh reports from this morning, early hours of March 9th, describe heavy, oppressed atmosphere and visual shimmers near the old BC penitentiary gates. Security personnel noted equipment malfunctions, radio static, and cameras flickering between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Cranbrook Fire Hall and Mount Baker Hotel. Reports of a little girl with a pink dress were noted on the night of March 8th. Witnesses described the apparition as appearing more solid than usual, consistent with the theory of energetic imprints being strengthened by current magnetic cycles. And that is quite possible that in that area, you're getting what I call residuals which is the reverberations of the past coming through. Um, it's really easy because it's really thin, that veil, so those type of things happen. In Alberta, central Alberta, the Drumheller-Rosebud region, reports surfaced on March 8th regarding agitated behavior in horses and cattle near Rosebud River Valley. Similar historic patterns in the region. A rancher reported finding a calf on the early morning hours this morning of March 9th with a surgical-like missing tissue around the jaw and the ear. No predatory tracks or struggle marks were found in the fresh snow, which is consistent with the bloodless profile that we usually see with animal mutilations. I believe it's the spider humanoids. Southern Alberta, the High River area. There is active chatter among local livestock owners regarding unexplained predator loss. 2 sheep were found late March 7th with precision removal of organs. Local authorities suggest coyote activity, but lack of typical tearing and consumption has led independent researchers to flag the site for further investigation. Atmospheric and celestial phenomena. The Alberta fireball residuals. Following the major meteor event on March 5th, which were visible in Calgary, Banff, and in Medicine Hat, reports of secondary flashes throughout the night of March 7th. Some witnesses in Rocky View County report seeing fragmented debris that appeared to hover or move slower than typical meteors before disappearing. Magnetic shift in lights. The ghost in Kananaskis area. Hikers report seeing dancing lights or shimmering orbs near the tree lines on the evening of March 8th. This report aligns with other notes that I've had in the other areas. Cryptid and paranormal activity. The Drumheller Coulee School Museum. On the night of March 7th, investigators reported a spike in disembodied voices and phantom touches. These activities, described as unusually high with equipment like EMF meters triggering areas with no electrical wiring. And that's in the Coulee School. The Black Dog of the Badlands. A report from early morning hours of this morning, March 9th, involves a motorist near Horse Thief Canyon, seeing a massive shadowy canine with reflective yellow eyes. The entity allegedly crossed the road in a single leap and vanished into the coulees without leaving tracks in the mud. In the Jasper Borealis region, reports of vocal mimicking surfaced in the Yellowhead Highway corridor on March 8th. Travelers at a rest stop reported hearing familiar voices calling from the dark woods, though no other people were in the vicinity. So in Saskatchewan, in the St. Louis area, reports from the early morning of March 9th involved unexplained injuries to cattle near St. Louis. While the area is historically known for the St. Louis Lights, a local rancher reports finding a yearling with clean, bloodless incisions around the soft tissue of the face. No predator tracks were visible in the light dusting of snow, mirroring the St. Louis Lights and all the other animal mutilations that we see right across Canada, and I'm sure around the world. West Central Saskatchewan. Building on a massive RCMP search that concluded on March 7th, there has been a heightened tension in the rural areas of northern Kerbrot. While the search was triggered by a distress call crash that yielded no wreckage and no victims. Local residents reported seeing agitated livestock and hearing a low frequency hum in the fields late on the night of March 8th. Atmospheric and celestial phenomena, the blood moon total lunar eclipse. Tuesday morning, March 10th, is slated for a rare lunar eclipse visible across Saskatchewan. However, precursors described by astronomers as freaky visual distortions were noted as early as the night of March 8th. The moon appeared abnormally dark or deep red hue to high atmospheric smoke and specific magnetic conditions. Saskatoon, mysterious lights. Reports of organized lights dotting the sky over Saskatoon occurred between March 7th to March 8th. While some experts suggest these were Starlink satellites, witnesses noted the lights moved in a nonlinear pattern, differing from the typical satellite train formation. Cryptid and high strangeness activity. The Rougarou of Batouche. Local lore sightings. Rougarou, Métis werewolf dogman / were reported by motorists near Batouche historical site on March 7th, late night, early March 8th morning. The figure was described as a large, upright walking canine that appeared to glimmer before vanishing into the river valley. Wendigo warnings, northern Saskatchewan. Reports from remote hunt camps near Churchill River on March 8th describe vocalizations of humans screaming, sounding like lost hikers, but were followed by deep, unnatural chattering sounds. This has been flagged by local trackers consistent with Wendigo activity often seen in the late winter and early spring transition. So in Manitoba, in the Brandon-Westman region, reports have surfaced regarding surgical-style mutilations in rural ditches south of Brandon. While historical cases in this corridor, including the 2017 case involving the removal of ears from goats and ponies, a fresh report from March 8th involves a calf found with clean, bloodless incisions. Local producers have noticed a distinct lack of predatory tracks in the mud, which is unusual given the soft ground during the current thaw. Winkler and southern Manitoba. Following up on reports of agitated livestock over the weekend, a farmer near Winkler reported finding 2 coyotes in a state of unusual display on March 7th. These incidents, often categorized by investigators as sadistic animal mutilation or high strangeness, are monitored for patterns involving missing tissue or precision-like incisions with no blood. Mimicking cries, atmospheric and high strangeness. Familiar voices. Sternbach. Reports from the walking paths near Sternbach Aquatic Center area have shifted from standard safety concerns to accounts of vocal mimicking. On March 8th in the evening, residents report hearing familiar voices calling from the bush when there was no one else present. This phenomena is being cross-referenced with skinwalkers. Of course it is. Excuse me. Non-linear lights in the Interlake region. Reports of dancing lights over Manitoba Lake occurred late March 7th. Unlike Starlink satellite trains commonly seen in the region, These lights were described as moving in independent, nonlinear patterns before descending towards the water. Cryptid activity. The spider humanoid, Winnipeg drainage. Building on urban legend chatter from other Canadian hubs, there have been unverified reports of early morning, March 9th, regarding multi-jointed thin figures seen near the old industrial drainage outlets in Winnipeg. Witnesses described the scuttering movement that appeared human-like, but posed an unnatural gait. And there's been heavy wood knocking and guttural vocalizations at the Whiteshell Provincial Park on March 8th. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day. And if you'd like, please hit subscribe. It really helps me in the algorithms. Thank you.